try!
Well, what a weekend of rugby action, and we're going to start with NFL and Jarryd Hayne, Stephen Hoiles. He's on his way to Fiji and potentially Rio for the Olympics. What do you make of it?
Well, he's on his way to London now to go and play in this week's Sevens tournament, the last tournament of the Sevens World Series before Rio. I think it's surprised everyone, but I'm pretty excited, to be honest. I think he's spoken a lot about his time in Fiji, in the National Rugby League side, years ago. He said it was a really humbling experience for him. So I would love to have seen him have a crack at the NFL, but if you sit back, I suppose he doesn't want to have another season like last year. As much as it was a big hype fanfare, he just didn't get a huge amount of game time, and he's still young, but he's probably got 5 years of professional sport in rugby league or rugby union left. So I'd love to see him play at the Rio. I'm not really disappointed that it isn't for Australia. I'm happy that it's for Fiji, just that he's in our game, which is good.
There's so many talking points out of this. Forget the fact that the 49ers might have dropped him or whatever was going on there. Can he do it in the Sevens game at the Olympics to join this Fiji squad, which are going to be world champions probably in London as well?
Yeah, they've also been lucky enough to pull in some of their big guns that have been based in Europe in professional 15s teams. So, look, the jump from rugby league to NFL is probably as big a jump you'll see in professional sport. So from him to go from NFL or let's say rugby league to rugby sevens, it's not as significant. It's still a very specialised game, sevens, and he's certainly talented enough to do it, and he's in a side that's really, really good, and it'll be exciting. Yeah, the breakdown stuff will be challenging for him, but one thing you seem to notice, everything you've seen of him, he seems quite diligent and professional with how he approaches things, so I'll back him in, yeah.
What about just an engine? I mean, he's going from NFL, which has so many breaks in play, to this seven side, this Fiji seven side as well, which never, I think they had 5 passes against Australia and they won the game.
Well, but you go back to, we talk muscle memory, and he's one of the great athletes we've had in rugby league, so yeah, we can get technical and say why he can't do it, but I'm a glass half full man, you know that, and
yes,
I think he's certainly going to be capable of doing it. Where exactly he sits in this Fijian side, I don't know, because it's going to be some exceptional rugby players missing out on that Olympics team for the Fijians. But hopefully he's not one of them. Interesting enough, he presented the jerseys to them for the Sydney Sevens only a few months ago, and that may have got him thinking. He sat in the Sydney Sevens crowd at Allianz Stadium in February and saw the exciting series that World Sevens does, and he wants a part of it. Who wouldn't want a crack at going to the Olympics?
One sad thing out of this must be said is he won't be able to play for the Wallabies due to World Rugby's eligibility rules. Is that a sad one? Should Aussie Sevens, the Aussie men's sevens, have made a crack for him?
Yeah, they should have, but look, I think they probably didn't know about it, to be honest. I'm not sure if he went to them. So I reckon he's wanted to play for Fiji, and I like the fact that guys that have ties to the Pacific Island nations go and play for them. We need to do everything we can to continue to strengthen the Pacific Island nations. I think we've been a bit greedy saying all these guys should play for Australia or New Zealand, and I'd like to see the islands, Samoa, Fiji, Tonga, Cook Islands. We need to help develop those countries, and he'll put them on the map. And Fijians growing up in the village back there, they'll all want to be the next Jarryd Hayne, and that's important. So I think it's, again, it would be awesome to have him in a Wallaby jersey, but I'm happy that he's chosen to go and represent Fiji.
Well, speaking of the Pacific nations, Samoa won the Paris Sevens overnight, beating Fiji in the final, and what a final it was indeed. But we go to some Super Rugby news, and big news from the weekend, not just for Super Rugby, but also for Wallabies, and that's Kurtley Beale's injury. You were there on the sideline for Fox Sports. Just a horrific injury, a patella tendon.
Yeah, quite a rare injury from what they say. We were initially told on the sideline PCL. I think I got that one wrong, and then went and chased it up. So it's his patella tendon, which is the ligament that holds your kneecap together, and very rare and just, terribly sad. And there'll always be some positives in this, and Kurt probably won't see it yet, but he's played a lot of footy in a short space of time. He's a young guy still, and he's got plenty of footy to still be played. So, it's devastating for the Wallabies this season, and he was just about to go and play in the UK, so I'm not sure where that'll leave his contract negotiations or his obligations, but he'll get a good break from rugby, and he'll come back and he'll be mentally refreshed and kickstart the second part of his career. So terrible news, but there'll be some positives for him.
The Waratahs were on a real burst. This is their 4th win in a row against the Bulls. Who can replace him for the rest of the season? And then crystal ball time, who can replace him next year if he does, if that Wasps contract does go through and there's not some T's and C's at play there?
Oh, look, in terms of, you can't replace someone like Kurtley Beale, let's be honest. He's probably the only person in Australian rugby that has his skill set and his ability to play what's in front of him in a short space of time. His turn of pace is better than anyone's. He's been in career best form, so it's devastating. Dave Hortz has started the season at number 12, when Bernard Foley was out. So Dave, I'll assume, will get first crack. Izzy could jump in number 12. Rob Horn can play there. Matt Carraro. You've got Zach Guilford still not in the match day 23. So there's options at the TARS, and someone will go in and do a job, but you can't expect them to be anything like Kurtley because he's simply brilliant at the moment.
Well, it was very big news over the weekend. So many things going on in the world of rugby, and you can follow it all on Rugby.com.au.